Good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports This. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you folks who are there enjoying your Thanksgiving this evening. In the studio as usual with me is my co-host, Paul on the ball. He has a special guest this evening. I'll let him do the introduction of his guest. But we should have an exciting show for you this evening, so if you guys want to take part in the show, our numbers to call is on the screen. If you want to send us a text, it's the same number. We want to thank all our sponsors for being supportive of us, and we'd like to have some new sponsors coming in the new year. But
who are those sponsors? I missed this. You didn't say who the sponsors were.
When we get to that stage, you will handle that part. And for you guys, good evening. Welcome to the Sports Desk.
Good evening.
My man Paul.
Yes, I would say thank you to the sponsors. And that's of course is Lime, Roton Wholesale, and Speedies for getting us across to the Summer Jam Finals, which is just around the corner. It starts this Saturday. Set It Off versus the East, the men from the East. That's gonna set it off.
Okay. Paul, we have a guest in the studio.
We do. Terrence Chinnery, everyone, the most loved and well-known Terry Chinnery is here with us.
When it comes to softball and baseball, this is the man himself, Mr. Chinnery.
And we're very pleased to have Terry. I've been trying to get him on my show for the last 5 years. I finally got him on. And I twisted his arm by...
He's been getting so much awards and stuff lately. So
he has. Terry is, he's just what you call an old stallion. He goes and goes. He's like an ever-ready battery and on and on and on.
That's good. You're not like an energizer, but that's good.
He is an energizer body, exactly.
Everybody don't last long these days, no?
Old school.
Trust me, it's going on and on. But folks, yes, we're going to be talking baseball this evening, I'm assuming, Paul.
Well, absolutely.
So we'll just get right into it. Welcome to the show, Terry.
Nice to be here.
I know you're a man of many hats when it comes to baseball, softball. So tell us what's going on.
Well, we just came back from Florida today to a showcase. I took Pedro Suarez and Dequan Leonard, two left-handed pitchers. They did exceptionally well. I think they have some footage of them that we might see later. And some colleges were quite interested in them. So they one plan to come down here in January and do the sign up for them to attend their school. And it's the same school that Jeremy Penn and the Jermaine Cotton, that is now with Houston Astros playing professional baseball, and his brother Juriel Cotton is with the Dodgers. And those are the guys who grew up here in Tatola playing baseball, and no one really knows about them, but they're the Cotton brothers, two of them major league pitchers.
Now, when it comes to baseball, Terry Chinnery is like Mr. Rear Neal in track and field. He can give you the history way back when. I know he's probably running close to Jim when it comes to the history of softball and baseball. But that's exciting news to hear that those guys just came back and they were doing pretty good, and they're even considered being looked at. I know when it comes to softball and baseball, Terry, like I said, I come out there and I always see you. I could be passing by, I see you there with some kids working. Yeah. What do we have in the future for women?
For women, right now, there's some young girls coming up. Now, right now, we have about 4 girls in the school. Miss Brathwaite, Valicia Brathwaite, she was a product of the program. She already graduated. She's back here teaching. And we have Daria Malone, Joel, Christopher Jalisa Potter. I always call her Shelly. So, and we have Bam Bam, which is Shanika Foy. Those are 2 of them at Warner, and the other one is at Shaw University.
What about Miss Malone? Is she still playing basketball?
Baseball, softball.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's what's the situation for this year, but I think she might be playing coming up in the January league.
Now, Terry, I mean, a lot of people don't sort of take it for granted that they see you on there and what have you, but they don't realize that Terry actually is an employee of Youth Affairs and Sports, and this is what he does for a living. And, where the rest of us work from 9 to 5, Terry works in the evening. He's actually working. And obviously he loves it because he's been doing it for so many years. But Terry, what drives you to keep on going on and on and on?
Well, sometimes up to that, I have a little girl named Chloe. She's 11 years, Power's daughter. If she keeps playing, she's gonna be one of the best players Tato ever produce. She's a girl that's just awesome. But it was raining today, so me and her were talking, and I always sit on the side and said, you need to get more focused and get serious. And I said, she said, you don't get paid? I said, yeah. I said, when I was in the bathroom, I'm working. She said, for true? I said, yeah. So she said, I say, well, tell you what, let me tell you the definition of the perfect job. It's something you love to do so much, and you do it for free, and because you're so good at it, someone pays you. So I'm good at what I do, so I pay you. So I said, when I'm out here, I don't look at no clock, I don't look at no start time, I finish time because I love what I do. She said, I was like, so she was just tripping.
And that actually personifies exactly Terry Chinnery in my estimation, because Terry has done this year in and year out and what have you. And you can see the love in him and the drive when we have meetings and Terry talks about softball. And many a times, I'll say this on the air, we've had situations where the department has not been able to afford to do things, and Terry's gone out and paid his own money and gotten it done.
Well, Paul, from my experience, what I've seen so far, I had the opportunity to walk in his office and seeing the photo gallery that he has of all of these different pictures, and I'm like, I thought this was Dean's office. He said, no, this is Terry's office. I was like, well, Terry takes more pictures than you. But
actually, he does.
It's amazing to see the kind of pictures that he has. You can see it's a family type setting.
Yes,
whenever they travel,
family,
it's like a family setting, and I mean, that amazed me, Terry. I didn't realize that you were so much into photography too.
I actually took a class at the I called it CVI because it wasn't university.
I
took a class and videotaping and photos, shooting pictures. Yeah, I did that for a while. Yeah, and it was I just like it. And then what I do is like every time they go any place, I like to take pictures when people not expecting it.
Yeah, you catch them
like I have some of Paul, I'm going to send to you sometimes. And because I have been playing a guitar, he started off this way, then he switched it to this side. So he doesn't know what he's doing. He's lost. I'm going to say like, he doesn't know we have that video, but I will show it to you. Some video.
Yeah, we may have to put it in the office. One of these times.
There was something happening in the office.
Yeah.
Who was playing, you say?
Pete. Pete was on the violin. You started on the violin, finished up on the guitar. If you had a chance, we'll probably end up on the tenor violin too.
Let's remind the folks that we are live here. This is JTV Sports Desk. We are live, and along with us this evening we have Terrence Chinnery, who is of course the man behind all this success of these young ladies and young men in baseball. So Terry's, we kind of brought him here to pick his mind a bit and let us tell us how he's achieved all this success. And we'd like you to, if you'd like to just even give him kudos or say a few kind words, you can give us a call, and the number is, Carl's going to tell you the number right now, because I believe he knows it better than I do.
Would you like the number, Paul?
Oh, give the folks the number.
The number is 541-7541. If you want to send a text, it's 541-7541. And we'll be happy to answer your calls and join in the conversation. Now, Terry, before I let Paul get back in there, I recently read some good news about a young Mr. Christopher that came up under your ranks, and he's doing pretty good, and I think he made it to college level right now in baseball.
He's going to be going to college, I think, come September.
Yes, yes. Tell us a little bit about the young man.
Well, he when I came to Tatola, he was like 4 years old, and his mom used to play softball at the time, Veronica for the Hawks, and they were practicing, and I saw the little guy there, and I said, "That's your son?" She said, "Yes." Okay, well, I can work with him now. So I started working with him, and then what you do when you work with a kid, you instantly know what they're good at, what they can and what they can't do. I said, well, he can't run, that's for sure. And I said, let's work at him and catching. So I know if you're going to be a catcher and be really highly recruited, a switch hitter is hard to find for a catcher. So I started teaching how to switch hit, so he bats from both sides of the plate.
Wow.
So that's a nice thing to have as a catcher, because they're hard to find. You don't really see much in the major leagues at all. You might see one. There might be one in the major leagues right now, but it's a hard thing to find. So I look for the ability early in their lives, and I just channel them to that area.
What is the advantage of a switch hitter, though?
Well, if a left-handed pitcher comes to pitch, you on the right-hand side, so all the curved balls instead of going away from you comes into you.
Right.
A right-handed batter, instead of if a left-handed pitcher is pitching, all his balls come into you instead of away. So you just switch if a right-handed pitcher is pitching, you go to the left-hand side. A left-handed pitcher is pitching, you go on the right-hand side. So it makes the game more easier for the hitter.
When would you use that hitter, though? Why is he so valuable? When would you use him?
Well, it's based on the team you're at. If he's like in baseball, if I have a kid, let's say I have you playing baseball and he playing baseball, and I know you can hit the ball at the park and he can't, and you want to play third base, you can hit the ball at the park, he wants to play third base or first base, and I say, well, no. if you want to play college ball, professional ball, you have to be able to hit home runs if you're playing on the corners. Catcher, first base, third base, left field, right field.
Right.
And I was asking them, who are your number one, who are your home run hitters, where do they play? And when they name them, they all play on the corners.
Right.
So if I see a kid that wants to go on, I've seen kid in St. Thomas, this little guy, he's about maybe 5'7", and he's a catcher, and I still like, son, you need to put you second base because you can't make it as no catcher because you can't hit no home run. You're too small.
Oh.
So you look at that for kids, and then you try to challenge them in that area. Let them know like this is the part where you best be seeing. If a kid has run fast, I try to put him in center field. Let them know like home runs are not a big thing. You're thinking just to run the balls down and get on base, just be flying. So that's where you're doing that. And like these two left-handed pitchers that I have, they're hard to find. So a major league pitcher, they want him throwing at least 90, 91, 92. A left-handed pitcher could get back to an 87, 88 and sign a major league contract. So I know these guys here, the school that is looking at them is the school that Jeremy Penn and Natisha and Thomas Lefty, all those guys went to, and he has a rate of kids going on all the way because right now the child staff for the Atlanta Braves went to his same school.
No, you basically answered all the questions I was about to ask. I mean, how do you identify talent and where to go and stuff like that? You just
answered it all.
Okay, so let me just switch it a little bit.
Okay.
How long have you been into this baseball thing?
All my life, I mean, like from Terrence and that's all I used to be doing. That's working with kids, and I was privileged to actually have scouts that I know personally actually invite me to the major league teams and sit and talk to the players and the scouts and the coaches and find out exactly the whole thing.
Now, what was the highest level of baseball for you?
The highest level? I didn't just play college ball alone, but like I never tell the kids my story, but I'll just tell you guys now. I was told to lie about my age instead of inside.
But for some reason, doing it now.
For some reason, like this, so like,
are you gonna come clean tonight?
I'm still there, still. I went to, I think, I scout. Actually, the Yankees came down. No, the San Diego Padres came down to sign me actually, and the guy said, just lie. I said, I ain't gonna lie about my age. If you're gonna take me where I am or not, because at the time I was like 23, and they like you when you're 18, 19. Now, if you're in college and play 3 or 4 years, that's close to the minor league. So they will take you at 23, 24 out of college.
Right.
But that's out of the street like that. They want you like 18, 19 because they want to work with you.
Sure.
Whereas now, like international players like us from Tatola and Santo Domingo, we could sign major league contracts at 16. In the US, they have to be 18 to sign a contract.
Oh.
So some guys went to Europe to live the slick way and get signed early, and then came back to the United States.
A lot of people have passed through you. What would you say is of all of the people that passed through, any of them ever made it to majors or minors?
Well, right now the two guys that passed through, the two brothers, they are now pitching. And yes, and it's I talked to a scout in Florida this year that know him personally and said he had the younger brother. Joel has a chance, which is with the Dodgers, has the chance of making a big league roster coming up next year. Wow. He will be asked to come to spring training. So if he does good, he will stay with the big team, depending on how he does.
I mean, Paul, we have raw information system right here. I mean, like I say, he's the real Neil to baseball.
And we have him at Youth Affairs and Sports. Isn't that great? No comment on that one?
We need a lot more people like him. We need
it's a good start. But I want to ask Terry a question if we have time.
Of course we do, Tom.
But I mean, if you have time before a break, because it's a bit of a long-winded question, but I wanted, from a perspective of softball, and it's a bit of a tougher question for you, but I have a feeling you can help me with this. What do we need to do, especially with the young men, because I want to talk separately about the young ladies and what you've done, because you've done a lot of special things with what they call the Panthers and all those girls. But with the young men in particular, we seem to be lacking pitchers in particular, because to me, when I look at all the major teams in the Virgin Islands, the key to all these teams is having a strong pitcher. And we don't have depth in our pitching. What is it that we need to do to get more youngsters pitching the softball?
You see, the thing is, like, you have a problem with youngsters playing softball, period, because you have basketball and other stuff that's taken over. You lose a lot of kids to basketball, and some years ago, they had a meeting in the United States with the same problem. When a kid is 13, 14, they just walk away from baseball and they go into basketball, track and field, especially the black athletes in America. They don't mess with the baseball. They say that's an old, boring white man game that they don't want to play.
Okay.
So, you know,
that's straightforward.
If you notice, all of them are going to track and field, basketball. They're going track and field, basketball, and football.
Right.
Because that's straight to the top, and it's rough and aggressive.
Right.
And, you know, softball is kind of like a lay back, relaxed game, you know. So that's why people go that side. But as far as pitching softball, like you said, the thing is, like I was saying, a lot of people don't really stay in the area because people who take it serious want to go on further.
Sure.
And softball, you can only go but so far.
I see.
Basketball, you can go to the top. Softball, all you can do is go far as represent your country. Or if you're good enough, you get paid to play with teams in the United States or foreign countries because they do pay. You know, we used to go to a tournament in Florida every year, and you have the best in the world come to play in that tournament from all over the world, and they paid because these pitchers, like, they rated number 1 in the world, number 2, and those guys come and play. So the thing is with softball, you find with kids like pitching, there's some kids that pitch, but as far as taking it serious and sticking with it, different trap into other stuff. So you have, like right now, to run a softball or baseball league, it's like pulling teeth to find kids to play baseball or softball.
But probably before you go any further, we have to take that break.
Okay, we're going to take that break.
So, folks, we're going to take our first break with our word from our sponsors, which is Rotown Wholesale, Speedies, and Lime. We'll be right back.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. If you're just joining us, we're talking baseball. In the studios is Mr. Baseball himself, no other than Mr. Shino. I call him Shino, Terry Chinnery, the baseball legend.
Yeah.
The man himself. I know, Paul, you had some questions you were reiterating to a while ago.
I just wanted to sort of continue on the line that we left off on before the break when we were talking about youngsters and how can we get them into pitching. Yeah, and I know you sort of gave a basic overview, but I'm still trying to think, you know, so if you're suggesting that it's kind of like there's no motivation for them, what motivated the guys in the past? We had so many softballs because, as you know, in the history, the softball players came from cricket. They played cricket in the 50s, and there were 7 cricket fields around the island.
In St. John too.
they left from cricket and began playing softball. Now history has repeated itself because the kids never went back to playing cricket. Right? Their children never went back to playing cricket. They remained playing softball and became very good softballers. Now the children of those children have moved on to play basketball and are not reverting back to softball and baseball. How do we revert that, and how do you see that? Is that a challenge? How can we revert that?
To revert back to softball, you would have to actually do tournaments here in the island. You find the young kids, they like basketball because the girls go there. If the girls ain't going to the basketball game, the guys ain't going. So, you know, you find like basketball is more an exciting sport and stuff like that. But if you do tournaments here and you bring people to train, the kids would go back to playing softball again. But the thing is, there are no tournaments. I guess they're more hard to come by as far as, like, you know, the association have to be pushing tournaments and stuff like that. But once you do a tournament here for men, I don't know last was ever a men's softball tournament here in Tatola.
It's been a while. It's been a number of years.
Yeah.
Good point.
If you bring that in here, and people see that, then they'll gravitate toward that, you know. And then you have the team that here do a pitching clinic and stuff like that, and kids will go out and learn. Because sometime back we brought in a professional ball player here, Paul. I can't remember his last name, but he used to be the best in the world, and he came here and pitched a few games for us, and the interest was sky high again because he was doing a camp and pitching. Everybody liked the idea that they could make the ball like that. That's exciting for a kid, you know. So the interest was there for a while, and then he went back and then just fell off again, you know. But like I said, if you do some tournaments here, then the interest of softball will pick up again. If you do baseball here, interest of softball will pick back up again. Basketball always have stuff going on all the time. With local leagues, you bring teams from St. Thomas, St. Croix all over. You're going to do a basketball tournament sometime this month. Then you're going to do one again in July of next year. So there's always things going on in basketball. So then you have everybody's gravitating toward basketball.
In fact, there's literally a tournament every month.
Exactly.
There has been for the last 4 or 5 months.
And sometimes some of them go out simultaneously, like the Virgin Garden when they want to save the seed.
Yeah.
So you have, it's flooded,
Yeah.
Whereas it's baseball and softball, it's hard to get people. And the thing is with basketball and some of the other sports, all you need is basketball.
Right.
And you could go with your friend and play by yourself. You don't need a softball, or you need like some more people, glove, bat,
Right.
ball, all that stuff.
So softball and baseball are suffering the same tragedy, so to speak, as cricket, because in cricket you need to have lots of gear, and softball requires the same. You need to have lots of gear, and you have to be taught the skill.
But the thing is, like I said, it's not only here in the Virgin Islands.
Oh no,
that's worldwide.
Yeah,
In the United States, I think they had a conference some years ago to try to get more kids involved in baseball, especially black kids. Black kids just not playing baseball in America. They gravitate toward the rougher sports because that's what they like.
No, let me just make a statement. We're actually the Virgin Islands Sport for Life comedian. We try to what our intention is to interact with the different sports, like for example, softball, basketball, all the different sports, where we bring back guys like yourself who played the sport and who understands the sport, so the younger kids could. Because I think what happens is, like you just said, there are no tournaments. So if the older folks get back into it, and because I know the league that's going on in Seacoast Bay, where the older is playing with the younger, and you can see that piques that interest. If you have some more stuff like that going on, where the younger folks can feel, well, hey, I'm playing against a great softball pitcher. I can back against this pitcher, a person like Woodrow, those guys. I'm hitting balls against these guys. It makes me feel like, well, hey, I'm a big hitter,
Yes,
and I'm playing on the same level with these guys. So yes, I understand what you're saying. Those tournaments do make a difference, and that's why the committee that I'm associated with is trying to get back into those sports. We started a 40-plus game, but it's actuality. It's just awareness for the younger kids to understand how it was back then and how fun it is and how easy it is to get back into it. For example, netball. I mean, I have netball started. It was dominant for about 20 years. Now I'm piquing interest from young women. The thing is that they think because it's a 40-plus league that they can't participate. So I had to, let them know. No, it's not. It's not that. We call it a 40-plus league because we wanted to get people involved, but it's for actually you younger women who wants to get involved in the sports, and the same thing goes for the younger men. If you want to get involved in the sports, come on out. These older folks will teach you the true way to play the sport. Because in basketball, I can go back out and play against some young guys. The skills are no different. They have, a matter of fact, they don't even have skills. They just run up and down the court.
You notice that, right?
We're playing 40-plus games right now. I mean, I'll get points on the winning games only going to like 50 points. I
went to the game of Virgin Garden, and it was.
Yeah, it's a more of a structured game. You have to learn to play around the circle instead of I'm just fast break running up and down the court. So it's a lot more exciting to watch. And I totally agree with you when you talk about the tournaments. We like to see tournaments. We like to be able to travel, and I think that's what is the same problem we had in track and field. When I was there, I guess Paul could say the same thing. We've been out there training for years. I mean, months, and you probably get one tournament. You get to go to one tournament, and that kills the momentum of the athlete because you feel like you're just training, and nothing comes out of it. So I do agree with you when you come to that.
And that's what happened now. It's like the kids that are stuck with me through thick and thin. Those are the kids that went on to college because everybody eventually. If I started for 20 kids. By the time I come out after a year or 2 or 3 years, you're down to like 4. And those that stick with it, they don't want to get to go to college because
they had the patience.
They had the patience and they had the passion and they love what they're doing, and stuff like that, and you try different things for them to kind of keep them at it. You let them know, hey, you have some ability. I could do this, I could do that. Just stick with it. Don't quit. Things will be rough and stuff like that. And they're kind of like talking and motivating them into doing this thing because it's frustrating just practicing every day in and day out. Then you have to improvise stuff to keep the adrenaline going, the love for the sport going. So I just create stuff as I go and think about things. Let me just do this. This might be exciting, and we just do different stuff like that on a regular basis.
Excellent. Let me just take this opportunity to I have to take a deep breath on this one because I want to be able to fit out the door after the program's been over this evening. But let me take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Carl Scatliff. And I'll say openly, he came to the Faith and Sports and requested our assistance, and we weren't that forthcoming when he first came, but he persevered and he's gotten things up and running, which is a good thing, and people can learn from that. And Youth of Faith and Sports is looking very keenly, and maybe very soon we'll step in and...
Paul, my head is feeling right now.
We step in a big way and support him. He went out there, he got T-shirts. We noted, he got people, he got a committee together all on his own with no finance. Let me tell you.
Yes.
We observed, he did. He asked us for money, we didn't give him. We could have, didn't.
Oh, so you could have?
Could have given you something, okay. But sometimes people have to do things on their own,
yes,
but money is tight at the same time.
Yes.
Money is tight. But I just want to say that the netball in particular is such an important thing. One of the things I know we're going to be keen on supporting him with is making that netball a big thing through the whole territory. We're really going to put our head behind the netball and support him with that. There are lots of basketball things going on, as Terry has rightly said, but the netball is something which we can't allow to die. And it hasn't been quite 20 years, I think, but it has been quite a while. Mm-hmm. It feels like 20 years to the girls, to some of them, because it's been so long. And as
when you say something, you mean like having a league or
playing
tournament?
Just been played, period.
I mean, I've been up there.
There have been clubs playing, but they've been playing among themselves.
And what the girls have complained about, Terry, is that because there's been so much basketball, the basketballers have taken over their little territory where they used to play netball.
Exactly.
So they don't even have a place to practice.
That's true. Yeah.
So we're keen to correct that. The Football Association is showing signs of supporting with that. And of course, in the 8th district, there should be a basketball facility. A netball facility up there very shortly, and we want to ensure that also in town, that the girls have an area where they can practice and they can play. We can start, different teams playing in the region, and we can carry it on and get them playing in overseas tournaments. Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll even get Carl to be part of that. Maybe he can manage the team and go along with them. I know he likes the sound of that.
Well, Paul, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me that opportunity and pushing me out there. Like you said, I started with nothing, and we basically up and running. But the theme behind of the whole 40+ games is that, like I said, brings awareness to this different sports. It's the older folks having fun at the same time, staying fit. But I'll tell you what's going to be interesting about this whole thing is that at the end of each league, there's a tournament, and there's countries that are going to be invited. We already started getting hits from different countries in the Caribbean that wants to come up and play 40+ basketball, 40+ softball, 40+ netball. So
get the netball up.
Yes, for coming in January, folks. Once the league is ended, you will see a tournament between the different countries. What we're going to do is pick an all-star team from the whole team league that we have to go up against these different teams. So I'll be looking for that support that you're talking about, Paul.
All right, well, send me a letter very early.
He likes letter. I don't understand this letter thing.
And let me just say, Terry, right now this is a hard thing to find. But netball is the only sport presently where the teams that aren't playing go to watch the games and support.
Of course.
In basketball and the other sports, when the guys aren't playing, they don't show up.
Exactly.
In netball, all the girls have come out to support the other teams when they're playing.
And I must say, they're the ones that's bringing all the people out. And
that's my point.
And the thing is, when they're playing, they bring out the guys. Everybody's...
Are you surprised? What do girls bring guys?
And shots coming. But you're rightfully right. When those girls are playing, they support. Even when the basketball is before them, they come out and they support the basketball guys. To the point where if you weren't there before, the games that were played last weekend were real close games. They were just by 2 and 3 points like normal.
Yeah.
But the games were close, and I think that rivalry, because Andrew Foy's now Northside Surfers is supposed to be going up against the Disciples.
Okay.
And that's going to be a big talk, because he said he lost his championship back then.
Disciples, yeah.
So
he brought it back.
But we're going to take a short break. Folks, if you're just joining us, our numbers on the screen to call if you want to entertain with us. The numbers on the screen to call and text. So please do give us a call, but we're going to take a break right now with a word from our sponsors.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.
Welcome back, folks. If you're just joining us, we're coming on to the end, almost the end of our session right now. Our numbers are still the same, 541-7541. Send us a text or call. Like I said, we're talking sports, and with the main man right now, Chinnery, and he's letting us know what's going on in baseball. So, Paul, we're back to Shino.
Yeah, well, Shino, you know, we've spoken about through the years what has driven you. What we haven't talked about is the success that you've had with your females, and that has really, to me, been the highlight of your career here in the Virgin Islands. The success that you've had with the girls. Why the girls and not the guys, and what has attributed to the great success you've had, you know, with the female?
Well, let me just tell a little story about, especially Miss Valencia Brathwaite.
Okay.
This is one of the best stories ever in my life. Is like, I took her St. Thomas by Antilles School, and the coach was down there, and I say, I bring on my Val because this guy used to coach me in St. John. She was working at Antilles School at the time, so I brought Val down there, and she worked out with him with volleyball and softball and stuff, and she pitched. So, you know, then the next week I was St. Thomas with some guys playing a baseball tournament, and I got a call in the hotel. Hey Terry, I got a full ride for your girl. I say, you got a what? He said, I got a full ride for Val.
What is a full ride? You got
a full ride. Full ride. I mean,
so
everything is paid for. All she got to pay for is a plane ticket.
Wow.
So I called Val. I said, Val, I'll come up on Monday. Have your mom and dad meet me in the office, and let them decide whether they're going to send you or not. Monday, they met in the office. I said, hey, the coach wants Val to come to the school, and, you know, I'd like to know what she can do. They said, we're going to send her. So I called the coach right then and there. I said, hey, they're going to send her. I said, how soon do you need her? Like yesterday. That was Monday. Wednesday, we were flying.
Wow.
She went to school. Thursday, she did all her books. Went her classes. Monday, she started going classes. Tuesday, she went on a trip, represent, and rest is history. Full ride. Well, 4 years.
So how did it end up for her? Give us 4 years later. Where is she? What
Well, she plays volleyball now. Volleyball was always her first love, but
right.
she plays softball too. But she played. They were able to fuse the scholarships together, softball and volleyball, and give her a full ride. So she did the 2 years at Palm Beach Community College, and then she got a scholarship to go for another school for another 2 years. But all was paid for because of her ability.
And what did she study when she was there?
She studied physical. I can't remember what she studied. Self, tell you the truth.
But she did well.
I think
physical education. She's teaching at that.
Well, that's the point. I mean, it's a good ending.
Yeah, that was our amazing story. And now we have the other 3 girls in college right now.
Now Terry, tell us when you sending, when you're scouting kids for colleges, what do you look for?
Well, every time, like I will go on the ball field to like PE classes, and I see athlete and say, hey, I like to talk to her after school or after practice, or him after practice, because what I'm looking for, even though I'm running leagues, I'm always looking for find kids to go to school, to save their parents' money and get a college education. That's my goal. So I don't just run a league to say I'm running a league. I'm also looking for talent that I could tell in a few years, hey, I got somebody, and they say, we'll be down. You know, that's what I look for, and that's why I'm going a reputation where if I call a coach, he even question just coming. You know, so but you have to be upfront with a coach. You can't go say, I got somebody right there, when he comes to he's like, come on, Terry. So you have to tell the kids playing out, hey, you have the ability to play college ball. You have a good arm. The only thing you need to get is get this together. And then, so I just straightforward kids like that. But like you said, what I'm looking for, if in baseball, I'm looking for kids with strong arms, kids can run fast, and kids have quick bats. Because those are the things we really can't teach. You can't teach a kid to run fast.
Well, what about hand and eye coordination?
Well, that's going to come with it. That kind of come natural to the kid, but that's a very important part of it also.
No.
But when you go to a tryout, the first thing they're going to do is run you in the 60-yard dash. See how fast you can.
So that's like a football practice.
Yeah, football is 40, but the baseball do 60. You run that. After that, they want to see how strong your arm is. After that, they want you to hit and feed. They want you to feed ground balls. Infield, outfield. When they do infield and outfield, they see your hand-eye coordination and the strength of your arm. Right. But they're really looking at the strength of your arm, because once you have that, well, we could teach you how to trade straight. You know what I mean? We can't teach you how to trade hard. And then what they see, the bat speed. Oh, we could teach you how to hit. If you're swinging right, we could correct that. But the fact is, it's quick bat. So I could see a kid from time he's young just throw a ball like that and say, hey, you got strong arm. Like the guy Pedro Suarez. When he was 11 years, I was East End looking at a softball game, and he threw the ball from center field home plate on a line, a softball, which is hard for a kid 11-year-old to do. So when he done, I say, who that guy is? So TC Fred was here. He tell me, that's Pedro. I say, how old is he? 11. I say, tell me I need to see him. So he came. So I say, you Spanish? He said, yeah. I said, you were born here because, you know, sometimes when you come from Santa Maria, sometimes your age gets mixed up and it changes. He said he was born here in Tatola. I said, okay, go call your mom. So he went to call his mom. I said, hey, your son have a lot of ability. If you let me work with him, I can get him into college and probably professional baseball at 11. And I started working with him from then, and now he's about to go to college.
So let's talk a bit about Pedro Suarez, and I'm hoping that the guys can show some footage on that now.
And the other guy, Dequan Leonard, too. He just started training last year.
Dequan Leonard just started training
last year.
So Suarez and Dequan Leonard, we have some footage on them. I'm hoping that the producers can pull that up and you can kind of walk us through exactly. So what happened? You actually went to the States. Give us the story of these two youngsters now. And you went to the States with them, or what? Tell us.
Okay, that's Pedro Suarez.
Walk us through who that is. The pitcher now.
That's Pedro Suarez.
Pedro Suarez is pitching.
He's pitching, yeah.
And tell us what's happening here.
He's pitching to one of the guys from one of the schools in the States, and he just struck him out.
He struck him out.
Yeah, he struck him out.
Is that the left-handed guy?
Yes, that's yes. Yeah, both of them are left-handed. That's Pedro Suarez. He's a younger one. He's 17, and the other one, Dequan, is 18.
What level are they pitching at here? What
college teams. Against college teams they're playing against.
So they're trying to get into a college. What are they trying to do here?
Well, right now, what we do, there's a guy named Future Stars. It's run by a guy named Darren Canton, and after he's traveling, he called me and said, "Hey, I need you guys to come with me like that." You know, so my guys go and represent. In the past, it's been Jeremy Penn. Other guys been going. So now we have Pedro and Dequan. Those are the best talent we have right now. So they were up there pitching for him about 2 weeks ago.
So their full names are Pedro
Suarez and Dequan Leonard.
Pedro Suarez and Dequan Leonard.
Now before them, you had people like Shadow and
Jeremy. Jeremy Penn was unfortunate because he been drafted 3 times by major league teams. That's how good Jeremy Penn is. Yes.
Wow.
And also University of Oklahoma, he was going there. He told me he went there, you know, they tried bribery to come to the school, so he went there and he was hanging out with Blake Griffin and guys. He said, them guys came to a football game. I was laughing in bed. He told them, I don't drink. So he was hanging with those guys because they wanted to come to the school. But he messed up his arm and he just stopped pitching. Never wanted to get it fixed, which I think he should. Yeah, but I think he should have gone and get it fixed. But I don't think he really wanted to play baseball like that. Yeah, I don't think he
What about those 2 young men too from down in the Apple Bay area?
Jaquan and Hull.
Yeah.
Hull, from time this guy was 10 years old, we went to play baseball in Puerto Rico, 9 to 10 year olds. And the first pitch we came in, the first time Tata ever traveled, we came in 3rd in the championship against Aruba, Curacao, Mexico, Venezuela, and Tatola came in 3rd. First pitch out at the Puerto Rican hand for the second plate in the tournament. He hit one dead center of the ballpark at 10 years old. So everybody was like, where is Tatola? They never heard of Tatola, you know. But he was good. But then he just lost a desire to play. And like, you know, I was trying to get him into a school, but then it's like, and I'm straightforward. When you show me that you giving me trouble, I'm not gonna waste my time, because when you go up there, you're representing Tatola, not you. Exactly. And I don't want nobody give me a bad name and Tatola a bad name. So the kids that I send away, I know for sure ain't gonna cost the island or me no problem. I know for sure they're gonna go and do what I have to do because they're nice kids. They've been with me all their life, and I agree with them and let them know this is what it's gonna be like. Yes, and if you can't do that for me, I ain't gonna afford that, because they're not gonna embarrass me or the island.
So when you're here out in the ball field, you know, doing Lower State there.
That's how I'm Dequan Leonard trainer.
Okay, this is Dequan. Let's talk a bit about Dequan. Take us through that.
Okay. I was in high school, I think last year, and I saw this guy throwing a ball, a left-handed guy. So like, who this guy is? And tell me, Darwin tell me he's Dequan Leonard. I said, I need to talk to him. So I say, you play baseball? He said, you never played before. I said, okay, come on the backfield, teach you how to pitch, and I'll work with you day in and day out. And he became working ever since. And every time he have pitched in a tournament compete, no one never really hits him. You don't get hit much. You know, his balls, he have a lot of movement in his pitches. And I just taught him a changeup and a curveball now, which is awesome. You know, his changeup is a nice pitch because it's a pitch that looks like a fastball, and by the time you swing, it ain't reach yet. You know, I think
let me ask you a question about this. Why does it look like they're pitching in center field?
Well, baseball is 90 feet. The mound is the link of a softball distance, 60 feet 6 inches. Softball is 60 feet to each base. Baseball pitching is 60 feet 6 inches to pitch from. And the guys, you have guys throwing. There's a guy from Cuba that defected that plays now with Cincinnati Red threw 105.
Wow.
Miles an hour fast. Wow. That's the fastest ever clock.
How fast is Dequan throwing there?
He's throwing 83, 84.
83,
at 18.
At 18, yeah. And Pedro's threw a little harder. Pedro threw 85, 86.
Is that so?
At 17.
Yeah, at 17, yeah.
So Pedro, who is
So
younger,
these guys can groom into.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, the arms, they don't get the work to where they could really be good because they come to me like maybe once or twice a week. When in college, then they do that all the time. So you know you could
So
really
they can improve in college.
get them really, really good. And the coaches there, you know, this team have a pitching coach. You take care of the pitchers.
Right.
You have a hitting coach and a fielding coach. So, you know, you can get your work in, you know, whereas me doing everything, you know, plus little girls and little boys. I was going
to ask you that. If you, in an ideal world, if you were to be hired by a university and to coach, where would you want to spend your time?
Before you go to that, I got a text and it says,
okay.
It says, good night. This question is for Mr. Shino. Are the children attending St. John tournament and who will be attending as the team?
The tournament in St. John is supposed to be second weekend in December. And there going to be two teams from St. Thomas, one from St. John, one from Tatola. I just want the guys to get up because I've never played off the island before. Some of them have, but some of them have not, and it'll be their first time ever going out to play. So I just want them to get that exposure. So they're going to go down for a weekend and compete against those 3 teams down there. And then the following week, there's a tournament with other teams coming in, and they're going to pick some of our guys to represent St. John so they could take a team, combined team, St. John and Tatola mix. They're going to play that tournament down there because it's a I think a team from Puerto Rico and Venezuela, I think, coming up to that one. So we're gonna.
So you have done that before. I think you have mixed countries before.
Yes,
where,
we have.
I think the ladies that did that too, right?
Yes, we have mixed and played with other countries before. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And
To represent
well.
the girls and the boys have played in RBI. That's vitalizing baseball in inner cities. It's a thing where we try to get black people, you know, African Americans to play baseball, and it's been done in Santo Domingo and Puerto Rico. So I've taken Valley Sabra would have been there, Shelly and Kinisha has been there to play, and Shadow and Jeremy and all those guys. Pedro have played in those tournaments in Puerto Rico and in Santo Domingo already. So they have been playing, make a lot of friends out and make a lot of exposure. So those girls have really been exposed, and the boys have really been exposed. And the girls have been going to St. Thomas, St. John for years to play in this tournament, Ruby Rock tournament that's been going on for the past 9 years. We lost our first tournament last year.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
And they cheated life out of it. Yeah. The cheaters are bringing girls from other schools to play against us. It's like, I don't care. I don't beat them. That's
so back to my question, Sheila. I'm not letting you off the hook.
Yes.
I want to find out, what is your true love? If you were called by a university to coach and they gave you the option, where would you want to spend your time?
I love to teach hitting.
Hitting?
Yeah.
You'd be up hitting.
I want to put a sign on the dugout. There's only 2 ways to leave this island. You're going to hit your way off or pitch your way off. You know? I want to put on the dugouts, you know?
I can't think of a third, but it has nothing to do with baseball.
I have to announce tomorrow night's game.
If you did for basketball, how would you say it? There are 2 ways to leave this island.
Dunk your way off, pass your way off, dunk your way off, shoot your way off.
Got me the talking basketball shooting.
I work with Neville basketball. Jamoy Calebson.
Yeah.
I worked with him a few times on basketball, so I took over the basketball court and I said, like, let me tell you something here. You got to shoot 500 balls every day you come here. 250 from inside the 3-point line and 250 from outside the 3-point line. He did it for like 4 days straight. And I said, like, hey, if you want to play basketball, you got to be the and you can't be no 6'1" and playing guard, okay? No. You have a 6'1" guy playing guard, can't dribble, believe he's a center. When you gonna play that?
But you know, you're so right, because when we had the NBA guys down here in summer, there was one particular, he coaches NBA players, and the guy that came down with him, he was coaching him. And he was actually like you said, doing shooting drills. And he probably there were times he had 2 minutes to shoot, I think probably about 60 to 80 balls from different angles. Right. So he had to run, catch, run, and trust me, he was on target all the time. If he missed, anytime he missed, he had to do laps, push-ups, free throws, everything. And when I looked at that, I said, these guys around here are taking these sports for granted. I mean, like you said, you're the only one out there that's teaching those that don't get a chance to do the foundation work, the fundamentals, the weight training, all that kind of stuff like that. If you had that help, I guarantee you'd probably produce a lot better players.
Yeah.
And I said the same thing to our national players when Sheep and those guys were competing. I said, Sheep, you need to come in the gym with me, man, because I know, But you mentioned something earlier before we end. I wanted to talk about it. I asked you how long pitchers last.
Oh, and like I said, you have to. Pitching is mostly your body. It's everything in unison. And if you keep firing different parts at the wrong time, you develop a problem. But pitchers and trainers that teach pitchers, they're more focused on your body. They say the arm comes along for the ride. If everything is torqued the right way and fires the right time, your arm ain't got no strain on it.
I see.
So you have pitchers that are play professional that don't have the correct mechanics. Some of them last, some of them don't. But it's all about mechanics and having everything in unison. It's time and boom, 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 boom. Psh. It can't be like boom, boom, like bumping, but it got to be like water flowing. Shh, and just trip.
Now we're in the tyranny of the clock here. We haven't got much time left, so I want you to again tell the folks what are your aspirations as to where we're at now? Where do you want to see softball and baseball in particular going in the BVI in the future? From where we're at now, because taking into consideration that the reality is that basketball has really dominated, and a lot of people, the argument is still that softball is a national sport.
Well, it used to be. That's not no more.
Well, cricket used to be the national sport too. But we have to. The reality is that at present basketball is a national sport. Let's whether we like it or not.
Before we go again, another text came in and is asking the same question. Good night. Who will be going to St. John? I don't think they listened to you the first time.
I'll be picking a team to go to St. John. If your son is interested, send him on the battlefield, whoever it is.
That's right.
I don't carry friends. I carry whoever me win.
That answer.
Yeah.
So just in trying to get that final sort of thought from you, where do you want to see softball and baseball going in the Virgin Islands?
With softball, I've been to tournaments. I want to tell a quick joke. We went to a tournament with somebody's out in Colombia and St. Andrews, and during the tournament they asked me to manage. I said, are you sure I want to do that? They said, yeah. I said, okay. So when I tell a guy bunt, I said, let me tell you something, me and that was I said bunt, and the guy wouldn't tell him, he told me like a little child. I said, I asked me to coach, when he asked me to coach, this ain't the same person who are laughing. When I coach, I'm a totally different person, and I don't have. You ain't a special person here. If I tell you to do something, do it. I don't want to hear nothing. Don't discuss to me, but you figure you could have hit. I don't want to hear that. I don't have time for that. Do I tell you, let's go sit down on the side? So after I did that to them, they kind of understand, like, well, Terry, you're a different person for real. I mean, like, when I go out there and I come for winning, I don't like to lose. I hate to lose with a passion. So I go, do what I need to do to win. I go like.
You're experienced enough to know.
Yes.
Who can do what when you need to.
Exactly. You have to know your players and know who could do it from who can't do it. I mean, like, you take a team out there to represent your island. You represent the island. You can't carry nobody out half stepping. If you know you can't represent, stay home and save the government money. I don't want to be carrying. I don't want to carry some team out there to represent the islands and you can't play. You're embarrassing me. You're embarrassing the island. So stay home. Save the money. At least somebody use it. Stay home. I ain't gonna take nobody who can't play. If I got a team, I figure can't win. We ain't leaving the island. That makes sense.
Now, Terry, we're in the tyranny of the clock, and also my co-host seems to have a sore right arm. Any final words from you?
Hey, well, like I said, those that are new kids that are coming into baseball, I started from 3 to 5 year olds. I'm starting again in January, 3 to 5, 6 to 8. I met some guys up there in Florida. When I go out anywhere, I always look for ways to, help the islands and spots. So I go and I find college coaches, and I find some guys up there that are doing 3 to 5 baseball tournaments and 6 to 8 baseball tournaments. I went and got information and said, I'd like to bring a team up to your tournament next year. So hopefully we'll take a 3 to 5 year old team and a 6 to 8 year old team to compete in the United States in a tournament next year. So that's what I'm working at.
Well, we just want to thank you as we're being serenaded off of the air. We want to thank for listening. I'm Paul the Ball along with Carl Dubs Catliffe and Terrence Chinnery here talking baseball. Terrence, great to have you. Thanks for being here. Until next week, good sports on you.
Sports Desk is sponsored by Lime, the better, faster 4G network.